Alright, first off, when I start off this video, I just want to know, do you guys prefer me to keep doing like videos like this, like kind of going over the new cards and concepts, or do you still want me to upload like a couple gameplay videos, or like a slight mixture of both, or which one do you lean more towards? I want to, oh wait, the deck build is up and running. Oh baby, okay, I'll definitely do more of that. Definitely do more of that. But this video is going to be focusing on the Black Flame, right? I would love to like go into this and like I'm pretty sure that is it working? But yeah, you could probably use some of the newer cards, right? Rise. But does it work? No, it looks like it's not working right now because it's just showing me all of the... Yeah, I don't think it knows how to like figure out Rise's thing. It's fine, it'll get there. I think it's hard to program. Anywho, we're going to be talking about the lovely card that is the Black Flame. I think the Black Flame was one of the cards that was revealed that for some reason wasn't showing up in everyone's thing. I'm like trying to scroll down to it. It's just such a cool card, and it just seems like it has so many implications. And there's a couple things that I wanted to go over and talk about it that will really talk about its potential. Like, what can this card actually do? And funny, it's actually like Zed talking about this, though Zed wouldn't be too bad, but I don't know if Zed's actually the one that you're gonna want to run. So similar to the Rise video, I'm gonna go through all of the newer cards that work with it. But first, I want to explain one specific thing, and I'm gonna go into a quick game in Runeterra to explain it. I'm gonna make everyone's favorite deck Azir Irelia. And the reason why is because the Emperor's Dais. Now, we've seen this, right? When an ally attacks, summon an attacking Sand Soldier, and I just wanted to show that the Black Flame should technically work in the same similar way that the Emperor Dais works, as far as attack order, which is what I'm trying to showcase here. So just imagine that the Emperor's Dais is actually the Black Flame. They are extremely similar in actual cost, right? The Black Flame is a 2-cost card, a 2-cost landmark, and so is the Emperor's Dais. So let's just imagine that the Shadow Apprentice is that. I would capture this, and then boom, we would pretty much go. And this is the reason why I am using this deck. This is very important. Very important to see here the order that this comes out, right? So the unit that's captured by the Black Flame is going to come out obviously to the right of this unit, right? It's not going to come out to the left. And can I pause this? Okay. Slightly, but you can see where the cards are created based on this. To the left, to the right. The cards, any card that actually gets thrown out there will be thrown out there in that order. This is Emperor's Dais. I'm trying to get it to that Azir is on the left side. And this deck's pretty good.
Tell the people what you...
Hey man, this deck's pretty good. All right, that's enough. So yes, based on that, I just wanted to just at least show that the landmark, or whatever you have like that generates a unit that as it's attacking, is going to go in the order of them on the actual board, as you saw there. So depending on where you have the Black Flame on your board, that's going to be very relevant to this video, and we have to talk about that first. So first, we capture an ally. When you attack for the first time each round, summon a ethereal... Why couldn't they just call it like a ghost copy or something of it attacking? So it's not only does it come out as a copy, it gets summoned and it's attacking. So let us go, and I wanted to just start off, and I already kind of made a list of this, is let's just go over, because they didn't actually get too many cards. Like this actual archetype didn't get too many cards in general. They got the Darkened Fan, which makes this, right? They got the Twin Wind Technique, which is not a card that we can necessarily use. We could copy it and then take their card. we could Twin Wind Technique it, even an enemy card, and then copy it, and then we have our own version of that card for perpetuity. You know, I have to hit them with that words, you know? This card should not work. Well, actually, that's why they actually made different ones, and this is the reason why, by the way, if you guys want to know why this is made this way, it's because of the Black Flame. It's just letting you know that whatever option that you pick first, if you were to black flame it, then that option will come out. So if you black flame this, every time you attack each turn once, this thing would summon it and summon another one. So that depends on what kind of deck you are. And that's it. There's no other Ionian cards that they added in there. But of course, we have the loveliness that is Runeterra that we can go see the other Ionian options. Oh yeah, I'm still in this game. But hey, like I said, Flawless Duet was the card that was played first. So these things were created because of the card. And then the thing to the left was the Emperor's Dais. And then the Azir one is the right because he's there. It goes in order. So let's go over the good old Ionia. And of course, the man, the myth. So we already saw what I just did in that first match, just for as an example. We played a 1-drop and then a 2-drop, and then on turn 2, Black Flame, we just copied. Kennen was one of the cards that I've heard a lot about because he would get summoned. He'd constantly keep making the marks. He would level himself up because you would be able to attack. Though you would only be attacking on your turn, then creating another copy of him on your turn. And he's already attacking, but obviously it's nuts once he's leveled up, right? You get a summon one of him attacking, and if they actually do a mark, it's insane. Then I actually think that Kennen Ezreal kind of becomes absolutely insane. But the first thing that it also makes me think about is copying cards, or using the Black Flame to copy cards that also create cards, which is also going to be something that I might have to unfortunately think about when we go into PNZ because of Seraphine and Victor, right? So what other cards would be good that are attacking? Like I said, it depends on the order. So then you have stuff like Ahri who attack and then something gets printed to the right. So if you attack with Ahri all the way on the left and then the ethereal copy goes to the right, you will then recall that unit, basically constantly getting it into your hand. And that could be absolutely insane. You have to like it's just crazy to think what kind of combos you can really come up with just even these two cards, recall synergy, because the card keeps coming out over and over again. I also want to bring up Lulu because the card, if she's attacking, then the card will come to the right, and then she will then support that ally and then make it 4/4 and then 5/5 when she's actually leveled up. And also, if she is the card that is inside of the Black Flame, if you make sure that something else pops out to the right of her somehow, similar to what we just saw with the Emperor's Dais, if the Black Flame is to the left and something else summons something like a Sand Soldier to the right, then Lulu can then end up supporting something. It's convoluted, but I do want to make a mention that that is something that happens. Now, it is Zed's card, right? Or at least he's the one talking about it. So imagine putting Zed in the Black Flame. He would come out constantly attacking, constantly applying pressure by bringing out another attacker as long as he's attacking. And depending on the one thing that I actually don't know is specifically, let's say Zed, the card is captured. When a card is captured, it does retain its like keywords and stats and stuff like that, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe we should clarify that actually. Let's clarify that in a match. Alrighty. So as you guys know, one of the ways to capture in the game currently is Tom Kench. So if I pick my man Tommy, and look at this souped up, super duper, I done invested so much into this Udyr, right? It'd be a shame if I was to eat him, attack, and then I don't get all these fantastical stats. And also, I'm curious if he keeps his keywords. I'm assuming not, but I just do want to show this though. I also lose the weapon. Oh no, I don't lose the weapon. Okay. So this is a good representation to see, like, because this is the Udyr that I just played. This is what he looks like raw. So let me attack with him. Sorry, let's be optimal. There you go, 16, 15. So let's see if we get that one back. So he was released, lost everything, but that's really important to know. When you are captured and you are released, you will not have your keywords with you. Unless it is something that you innately have. Only unit I think that can abuse stuff like that would be like someone like Kai'Sa after she second skins a bunch of stuff. Then yes, maybe she would like still come out with her keywords and stuff like that. But in most scenarios, the card is going to come out as its vanilla copy. So for instance, like I was just thinking about it with Zed, if he was boosted up in some way, he's going to come back as a 3/2 unless you have something that like permanently boosted his stats. Like as you just saw with the deck, a Spirit's Unleashed, then yes, it would work. As you saw Udyr still kept it. It's not like he was silenced or anything like that. He still came up with his buffs in from his passive, but you're not going to get that. But still, a lot of pressure that comes out from that. So then, a lot of the times, what else we're going to be looking for? We're going to be looking for cards that have something to do with attacking, or they have something to do with something that happens on summon, right? That's the two things that we are looking for that are really good. Navori, like I actually thought about like a even elusive deck. If you copy elusive and then that elusive, you don't have to even use champions or stuff like that. But let's just look at something like this: the Navori Blade Scout that comes out. Every single time it comes out, it's an elusive that's attacking for 2/1. And if you were to do something like, let's say you combine this with Bilgewater, then you know, and like all the 1-drops get something, you know, just it's an idea. I do think that Navori Blade Scout is going to be would be a good target, and that's all I'm trying to showcase here is what would be considered a good target for the Black Flame. The Morn is a fantastic target, and same thing with his with her brother, Bastion Disciple. The reason why is because the whole Nexus Site Recall Me thing and just anything Strike Recall Me. So if I go into Noxus, same thing with Katarina. They will actually recall before their Ghost Ferio passive actually kicks in. So you actually get to keep the card. So these are cards that they'll come back and they will retreat or recall themselves before they actually end up dying, giving you card advantage, and which could also mean maybe lend itself to possibly like a discard aggro. Like these cards come out and then you get them back in your hand and then maybe you can discard them. That's another option. Disciple of Duran would be something similar to, I think, like I said, the like a Victor style deck. Like something that keeps creating in preparation would lower the cost and you keep getting preparations over and over again every time you attack. Not that bad. Logical? Probably not, but it is an idea. I love the concept of the Green Glade Lookout as well. Something that is attacking and at the same time, it's going to keep giving you value because, you know, it keeps reducing a unit in the hand, and like it's a ethereal version of it. So it's like, do you even want to waste anything to prevent that from happening? Probably not. The improvised cards, Hookmaster seems pretty spicy, getting a free equipment every single time you attack sounds absolutely nuts. And remember that they'll just auto-equip. Improvised, they will actually auto-equip themselves with a random equipment if you don't have the chance to choose. So that would be how that would work as well. Keeper of the Mask also seems pretty aggressive. Like, I think the Black Flame is going to be used in one way. It's going to be used in a combo way, but I also think that there are a lot of aggressive strategies. Keeper of the Mask is a fantastic one because it summons it as a 2/3, and every other thing that you're attacking with, which could be your elusiveness, will just be that. I do think that there will be a lot of aggro stuff that the Black Flame will have, and like it will kind of force landmark removal because it's a free card, like I said, a free unit that is going to be attacking that you really can't do anything about. The Shadow Seer is also a good option. And I'm going to also try to mostly keep these on cards that are lowish curve, right? I think that it doesn't make sense to go with the big cards, these big card payouts. I don't think that that's logically how you'll be using the Black Flame. And here it is, the one that I was waiting to, the Green Glade Elder. So you play this obviously on, this would be like a turn 4 play. You play Green Glade Elder on turn 4, you copy it, and then you just constantly keep buffing cards in the hand. And again, I'm showing you guys all the ones that are in Ionia because that means you can literally splash whatever the fuck you want. Which is insane. Really, really crazy to think about that. A lot of hand buffing that you could do there. And of course, I'm going to start thinking about something like that with Kale. And Kale's package as well. We'll look through that. But like I said, I'm currently just going with Ionia. River Shaper is a fantastic one. Shadow Assassin for aggression. I don't know why, but when I look at Solitary Monk and think of that combo, I feel like there's something there that I might not be understanding. But I, for some reason, think that there's something there. I guarantee that there isn't, but I feel like there's something there. This card seems pretty good. It's a 4-attack elusive that keeps coming back, like I said, every time you attack. Seems pretty good to me. And here we are. Kinku Wayfinder in a mono or majority Ionia deck, which as you can see, you kind of can run with the Black Flame as a theme. the Allegiance cards kind of like, at least this Allegiance card, it seems like it would be kind of nutty. Especially with a lot of the low cost cards that I've already shown that are in the deck. I do think that you could run this and a Kennen deck with the Black Flame, and I do think that you could see a bunch of nonsense. And why would I say that specifically? Because Kennen specifically is a 1-cost follower that it has the champion spell thing attached. So you could actually keep shuffling Kennens into your deck by utilizing Kennen's Lightning Rush and creating another one in the deck, so that every time you attack, I'm just you can thank me later, but that's actually something that you can constantly do. And then you'll always have Kennens, and they'll keep manifesting themselves onto the field, and you'll keep having marks coming out onto the field. And even though like it doesn't mean that you can't splash another region in there that will kind of benefit that a little bit more, to make that more of an aggressive thing. Like I said, going maybe into PNZ and then having Ezreal just splashed in there, not too many spells, so you don't miss Allegiance too often. But the big thing about these Allegiance cards, or at least this one specifically, most of the time it just sucks having to pay 4 costs for it, right? But turn 5, and you then at that point, unless they destroy the landmark, keep doing this over and over again. I like that it's attacking, so like you do have to, like, there is some like trade-off there. But Jesus Christ, like that just seems to me like an extremely strong play. Now we're getting into territory where, like I said, the things cost a little bit too much. Though I do want to mention that Sanin is a really good option as well. He gets +1/+1 when he's dropped, and he will also allow you to draw 2. And this will accelerate your deck like an insane amount, like an absolute buttload insane amount. So I do want to mention that this would be, Sanin would be like amongst the more higher end things that we have here. Then after a while, yeah, these things, what are you gonna do? Turn 8, turn late hatchling? Yeah, okay, sir. I see your chakra. But that is gonna be it for Ionia. Like I said, I think the Kinku Wayfire is the highest tier, and with a Kennen based deck, I do think that that's going to be absolutely a buttload insane. And even like I said, just showcasing the thing. And then remember one one little creepy detail that I want to lay upon your innocent souls is that you can actually have multiple Black Flames on the field. And like I said, and that's why I wanted to showcase the order, because the order is very important, right? The order is going to be very, very important of where the characters lie, because you could have, for example, that board that I had, you could have a Black Flame, a character or a unit in the middle that summons something, like the Emperor's Dies, and then another Black Flame, so they could be some type of weird chain. Like I already think Ahri Kennen, I actually would run that deck 100%. Ahri Kennen mono Ionia with Black Flame as a thing, with a lot of these other cards like a Droplet. You could even early redo Droplet. And keep in mind that you actually within your own deck, right? If we just go and recall, you have Unworthy Soul, where you can recall a landmark, you can recall your own. You have, where is it? Homecoming, where you can recall your own landmark. So you actually have the ability to reset what is inside of this thing, and it's only 2 costs, which I do think that eventually they might want to change that. Maybe the Black Flame will become a 3 or 4 cost landmark. I do think it is strong based off what I'm saying here. A lot of ways to kind of manipulate and alter. So I'm actually gonna say, maybe you know what, this video is going on long enough. just for me talking about the base of it being in Ionia, and the fact of all the stuff that you can do in Ionia. I could obviously go into but there's so many regions, there's so many combinations. Like I even said, I'm gonna briefly mention it here. Oh wow, I still have recall. Just like a Katarina that attacks, right? That sounds nuts. Like to kind of have a Katarina that kind of comes out, especially when she's evolved. You kind of get a free rally on an open, not really, you don't even need the open attack because it doesn't really matter, but you will get a Katarina, and then she's going to be summoned attacking, and then she's going to attack. You get Katarina back in the hand. You also get the place edge. Like it's kind of nuts, and that's just me going like slightly touching a region, and I haven't even gone into the region itself yet. So just, and of course when I go into the region, I have to look at all the new cards and stuff like that. But just going off Black Flame Ionia alone, the combination potential is fucking insane. And I just want to briefly add, like, I do know that there are other crazy combos, like putting the Rock Bear Shepherd in there, putting the Deathless Knight in there, as like a list of some of the newer cards, also Redeem Prodigy. I'm aware that there are other really good options. I just don't want the video to be like an hour-long thing because there are so many different options as far as even the new cards. The Cunning Kitten is a huge target for the PNZ version with Ionia because it will be a created copy. You will draw one, and this thing will be a 4/4 attacking that the opponent has to pretty much deal with. It's such an aggressive card that I think that it's like even my boy Acoustian will be able to get it. And this is just, again, this is just looking at some of the newer cards that just came out. Yes, put your Darken in the Black Flame. And yes, I'm also aware of loveliness that is Avarosian Hearthguard. I know people also wanted to see Revna as well. Where is she? Revna, Revna is another option as well, constantly buffing it and stuff like that. There's a lot of options of cards. I also, this is trying to be as quick as possible, like other Allegiance decks, like using Black Flame as just a touch it, and then using the other Allegiance cards, like a Wraithcaller, and then you go into a big Ethereal deck or something of that nature. Or, as we all know, what if you put the Rekindler in there? Like there's definitely a lot of options, or maybe a Snap Grind, you know, that infamous Overgrown Snap Grind deck. I can't go over every single card because like one card literally unleashes another potential thing. Evelyn's cards always having a Husk every time you attack, a Husk generator every time you attack. Like there's just I can't, like I would be here all day. There's just so many decks you could do. Like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what region if you want me to. Like I said, we have a couple of days before the expansion comes out. I'm leaving this here. I'm gonna leave it here, but just there's so much. Let me also give you another one, right? Before I go, Vayne, right? Vayne, I think it's like Vayne Z, right? Is a nice little combination from Demacia and Ionia. We can run a bunch of the stuff that I just said, basically, right? Or a combination of it. But Vayne allows you to tumble, which allows you to actually attack on your opponent's turn, triggering Black Flame on the opponent's turn. Also, they have Cataclysm in this deck to allow you to attack on your opponent's turn. So I'm not exactly sure what that would look like, but it is a option, and I think it's just to think about maybe running some of the rallies inside of Demacia to kind of like keep this insane pressure. Maybe you don't run Vayne at all. You just run Vayne. You run Vayne, but you actually, we know this is the rally region, so we actually have options to rally as well. And then you have stupid shit like this. But you know, there is some option. Again, like I already said, like the high cost stuff is not really what you're using the Black Flame on anyway. But let me know what you guys think of this card. Do you think that, based off what I said, does that already magically make the Black Flame busted? I think that just a pure Ionian version is insane enough, and I do think you can tap into PNZ. I do think that there's some other combos just going off of summon effects, but then you also have to think about attack effects as well. So I'm out of here, man. You guys know, if you don't know, I can talk for hours. You guys have no idea how much I edit out of my talking when I'm actually in mid-match and just talking about the plays. I edit out a lot because a lot of it's just dead air. But yes, that card is going to be fucking nuts, and I think the first deck that I might make is a mono Ionia deck. I think I might do that first. That might be one of my first iterations of that card. Anywho, I'm out for real this time. Peace.